people tuning in to see Education Minister Peter Fassbender in the BT studios. First of all, thank you for being here.
My pleasure as always.
Our social media is exploding right now with people saying, I can't believe you're breaking the media blackout. You're not here to talk about what is at the negotiating table, but...
Well, I'm not breaking the blackout. The blackout is in place to talk about details of negotiations at the table. I won't go there. But what I do have a responsibility as Minister of Education is to ensure that parents are aware of where we're at, what options are available for them. And as you know, we launched a website, bcparentinfo.ca, on Monday, so that parents can go and see what options are available, what other educational options are available. And also, if the strike continues, and I use the word if we get a negotiated settlement, we won't be doing this. But if it does continue, we have announced that we will be giving $40 a day for every parent with a child under 13 in the system.
With that announcement came down quite early, and we were all discussing the fact that it was the beginning of August that that stipend was being offered. Isn't that a preemptive move to say the optimism is falling by the wayside, to say we need to offer that, and chances are September 2nd we won't see a resolution?
Not at all. I think it was very clearly a statement by the government to the BC Teachers Federation and their members that we're serious. We want a negotiated settlement. We are not going to legislate. That's one of the keys. We've been in that cycle. We've talked about it before. We need to break that paradigm and to get some stability, so we're not doing this every other year. It just is so frustrating to find ourselves there so often, and again, as soon as we finish, we're into the next cycle.
So how long is the government willing to tolerate a BC school shutdown, and is that decision of not wanting to legislate here, are you willing to jeopardize the entire school year if it goes that far?
Well, you know, my optimistic side says we can get a negotiated settlement. However, we have to be resolute in the fact that we've got to change the way we do business. That's why we've said that. That's why we're not rushing to legislation. I've had all kinds of people say to me, well, just legislate it and get it over with. Well, legislating doesn't get it over with. It puts us right back into exactly the same position. And I don't want to be there. Parents don't want to be there. Quite honestly, teachers don't want to be there. They want us to find a way, and it's difficult. And I understand all the history. I haven't been a part of all of the history, but I now am living with the history. How do we change that cycle of dysfunction and get to something where we start focusing on your child, my grandchildren's future education? How do we deal with the classrooms of the future in composition? The only way we do it is by working together in a cooperative way, not in acrimony.
And you've seen the Conservatives' 5-point plan. Your thoughts on that?
Well, like everything, it's easy for anyone to sit back and say, well, here's what you should do. Do this, do that, do that. It's not that easy. The relationship is not that easy. I want to get there. I believe the BCTF wants to get there. The problem is, how do we get there? And I think for teachers, they're saying, what risks are we taking if we negotiate a settlement, if we have a longer-term agreement? All I can say to them, as sincerely and as honestly as I can as Education Minister on behalf of the government, there is no risk other than we need to sit down and work together and get over this climate we've been in for far, far too long.
One of the key words you just mentioned in this chat is dysfunction. What's causing that dysfunction at this point?
You know, I think I would probably be a negotiator or a mediator if I had the answer to that totally, but I think it's been a climate of looking for something that is really not realistic in this day and age, economically, practically, if I look around the world, if I look at other provinces in this country. So I think what we have to do is say, what is our goal for education? And clearly, our goal as government is to provide the best, most stable educational environment for every single student. And I recognize composition in classrooms with complex societal issues are huge. We have to deal with those. We offered to set up a committee with the BCTF. We put money on the table to deal with composition. And at that time, they said, no, we're not prepared to work with you on that.
Are they talking about being frustrated at the, and when I say they, the Teachers Federation, are they frustrated with the fact that it's money for composition when they actually want numbers for composition. There can only be this number of students in a class, this number of students with special needs in the class. Well, it seems like it's a $225 million budget to negotiate that. Didn't it used to be that the composition and class size was specifically within the deal?
Well, we have hard caps in British Columbia on class size.
Which is?
Which is for kindergarten to grade 3, 24.
Okay.
And then when you move on to that, maximum of 30, except in special circumstances like band, drama, physical education, where larger numbers actually make a lot of sense, right? But we block fund every school district. Individual schools make decisions on composition of classrooms and the dynamics in that school. We don't do that. I don't do that as Minister of Education because, every community is different and every school is different. However, what is fundamental, there is a difference between hard caps or formulas on size, which have been proven around the world not to work. Composition in terms of the makeup of that class, what that classroom looks like, and quite honestly, I believe we have classrooms today that have looked that way for 130 years. The world's changed. We're not looking to change. Change has already happened. How do we restructure education for the future? Classrooms. How do we use technology as a tool, not a crutch, but a tool to facilitate education? How do we develop more individualized education programs for your children and my grandchildren? That's what we want to work on. That's what we want to partner with the teachers of this province, as every other jurisdiction in the world does.
PCParentInfo.ca is the website. If you're watching this at home, teachers, students, resources for learning, do you believe this website will effectively supplement the curriculum if this extends to November, December, into the new year?
You know what? There is no better place than a classroom for teaching. I fundamentally believe that. I believe, though, we have to support parents if we can't come to that resolution as quickly as we need to.
If a deal is reached by Monday, can we get back to school by September 2nd?
Absolutely.
No bumpy start. It's going to take us 2 weeks to get organized.
Some districts may have a little bit more of a challenge, but I've talked to the teams around. I've met with all the superintendents. They're ready to get schools up and running. They're doing a lot of the work to get ready right now.
Will we have a deal by Monday?
That would be my dream.
Well, it's the ongoing story. It impacts many. Thanks for all of your feedback on social media. And, of course, thanks to the Education Minister for being here to continue the dialogue. Going to take a quick break. Lots more still to come on the other side right here on Breakfast Television.